I've been racing to the bag. Okay. Designer on me with the tags. Louis bag full of racks. Okay. You know I'm not the one to cap. I swear. I start the wave like splash. I swear. You ride the wave Six Flags. Ride it. Niggas tried to steal the flow. Phony. So I stole it right back. Facts. I've been racing to the bag. Designer on me with the tags. Louis bag full of racks. You know I'm not the one to cap. I swear. I start the wave like splash. I swear. You ride the wave Six Flags. Ride it. Niggas tried to steal the flow. So I stole it right back. Right.
This next set of quests here, this is going to be the last set for 2.2. And while we go through, we're going to talk a little bit about creativity. To be the what you want to be, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you want to be creative. Like who doesn't want the ability to basically dot it up, to have as much control as you can over the world is to create. That is where surprises come from. That is where, inherent joy comes from. It is the creativity, and we are all born with it as babies. We just naturally lose it. We just naturally lose it, people. We naturally lose it, just like I'm losing my fucking mind here, sitting down because, God damn it, I forgot this is the last clip. This is the last clip that we're doing with OBS. It's very short, but gotta do it. I think we're just accepting the quest or something. But while we do that, let me bestow upon you a little bit of uh, a creativity hack thought for. I know it's here because I thought about it a little bit, but I didn't really think about it a little. That is one thing that I love about creativity that comes from me that I realized recently. It's so crazy because I don't like surprises. I don't like not knowing things and learning them in the moment and giving out my genuine like, oh shit, what the fuck is happening? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, from my experience, it gets weaponized against you, and then I really don't see, besides being in the moment and getting the nice fun like laugh out of it. In the moment, anything is good with the right people. Most people are gonna have a good aura around you if you have a good aura around them. So, I can't deny those moments that we all share that are happy, right? But when everything is all said and done, you lose a lot of respect. When your reactions are so pure. So the thing about surprises is I never really enjoyed them. I never really enjoyed not knowing things, good or bad, that are coming to me. Um, and that's a problem. That's a problem because the best things in life come from the not knowing. The best, joys come from absolutely nowhere. They smack you in the face. You know what I mean? And a lot of your joy is going to come from not thinking and being ignorant. That's why the dumbest people in the world are sometimes at the top with the most because you should just be positive. You got to be as head empty as possible. Now, the more common way to get up there is to use a lot of thoughts and to do a lot of thinking and perhaps a couple of underhanded deceit tactics, and then you get up top and then you stop a bunch of people from being up there with you, and you bring your friends up too, and then that's the whole corporate, aristocracy ladder or whatever we're talking about in America. But you got to be creative, not just in because a lot of people just say, oh yeah, art, music, drawy, righty are the only ways you can be creative. But creativity, you don't understand, guys, leaks into almost everything. Like people are like, oh my God, I hate my job. I'm working Postmates and it's so bad. I'm like, well, get creative. What could you do to make it fun? What do you like? What do you wake up in the morning and you're like, I can't wait to do this? Like how can you put something from that into your Uber? Like it's like you get creative about it. You even get creative on your solutions. And you can do a lot of different things, but people just don't grind the stat because we have so much stuff that thinks for us. Like for example, this algorithm probably thought for you and put you on a random Dragon Quest video where I'm talking about being creative. Possibly. I don't know. Maybe you search for this. Maybe you're a stalker. That's cool. Perhaps you're here from a short. I also like that too. A lot of people come from the shorts. I do enjoy music as well. But guys, creativity comes into everything, not just this dumb music I make, not just these fun little videos we create. Creativity is everywhere. It's in everything. So when I say grind it, I say like don't overly analyze the process. Just you have to ponder things more. You have to juggle them more, and that will inherently bring your mood down. Especially if this is not something you normally do. I am a classical overthinker, constant thinker. So if you think a lot already, this is probably not, the wisest advice for you. Let's be real. But the time with yourself, with us overthinkers, the true time with yourself, where you stay accountable for your own thoughts and you take a step back and explore the river and really look at where the worries are coming from is extremely valuable. Extremely valuable. It just has to be used in the right way. We just have to, not rely. I mean, you have to rely on it a little bit, but not rely too much on your group of social stature to help you through your turmoil. Because we all got problems. Like, ain't no one out there with no problems. But at the same time, there's ways to solve those problems. There's ways to get through without crashing out and making someone else's problem worse or making them carry your burdens. Because the thing is, guys, you can do that once or twice and it's fine. But often what happens, I'm noticing just from my experience, from experiences that I've seen, from stories I've been told, and also, from the internet. But not, completely from the internet. But you'll see this too, and you've probably seen this in your life as well. The person who is the strongest in the relationship usually just takes everything. They just kind of tank. There's usually like a tank and DPS, but there's usually no healer in the party. And I'm like, so the tank has to do the healing too? Well, how does this work? How does this work? And he's gonna just take your DPS? Like what? It really doesn't make a lot of sense. But I feel like in a balanced thing that most people want, there would be a lot of give and take between who is spitting vitriol and who is constantly alchemizing and turning it into wine from the poison. But there usually isn't because people don't notice their dynamics. People are not aware of what they're doing. Oh my God, we're here. Okay, so it's a little darker, right, with Bandicam, but we're here. We're in the good shit. I'm gonna make this all one episode. So I hope you guys enjoy uh the new editing, not editing, but the new recording here. I think it looks fairly nice with my shitty little capture camera. And then soon we'll get some footage in here. We're gonna do slow increments of upgrades. And then I do love about this software that I'm using now with Bandicam, it has to split it up into 10-minute video chunks. And yes, I am happy about that. I'm happy about that because it makes it very easy for me to stay locked in while recording. And on top of that, split up the parts more. I can edit them together easier. It's just like instead of making these long ass videos where I don't know if things are gonna mess up or not. Um, it's just better to have that little timer on. Just be like, I gotta go 10-minute chunks, 10-minute chunks. So hopefully Bandicam just never changes that. I don't really mind. There's a little label up there at the top. I don't really mind that. We'll do ads. I'll be sponsored by Bandicam for the first couple, years or wherever I do this. I might edit it out. I might like zoom it in a little bit because you can easily do that. But anyways, hope you guys like the new footage. We're getting creative in the ways where we're creating things. If the lag comes, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But like I was saying, a lot of things, a lot of crash outs can just be solved by one person just being aware of the dynamic that they set. And a lot of the times it takes an anonymous Reddit post. But you got to do what you got to do. You got to take a step out. You got to take a step back and take a perspective. Like Lloyd here. Lloyd is looking out and he's like, God damn, what the fuck am I doing? I am only level 99 or 100. I don't know. One of all these. There's a whole world out there for us to grab, And we can't sit here and wait for someone to save us and pull our hand out. Sometimes you got to be like, let me just swim up dip my head out the water and swim my ass to shore because I've been out in this water and no one's gonna save me. You know, this motherfucker out here got me fishing, looking for treasure. But every now and then you gotta dip your head back up and be like, let me take care of myself. Let me take care of myself. Let me take care of my mental. Let me get it right with God, because we might all be dying very soon. I'm gonna get dark like that. I'm gonna get dark like that, motherfucker. You know, the world is a crazy place, and if you know the natural cycle of political structures, we are heading towards anarchy. All of us. All of us American citizens. Maybe not Japan. Well, actually, maybe Japan too. Tokyo. But we're heading towards something different, you know, and we gotta watch ourselves. We gotta watch ourselves. You know, I'd say if you don't stay silent and not, drop a bunch of your amazing plans and creative gifts and surprise everyone, um, you're doing yourself a disservice because the people who are doing this work, when the crisis comes, they're gonna know where to go. They're gonna have a plan, and then everybody around you is going to be like, how can we use him? And you're gonna be like, oh no, let me go to this guy. He's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna use you. And you're gonna be like, oh shit, you're leaving me now. And I'm gonna go to this guy. And he's like, I'm gonna use you. And you're leaving me now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be bad. Be bad. You don't know how to be by yourself. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. And I don't mean for everyone to like break up with their partners if they're doing bad or evil shit, because it's a symbiotic relationship. I feel like if you are worried about the future, you should probably talk to that to your partner. You know, there's a lot of things that can be solved with open communication in these relationships. If you realize that, it's like you solving things by talking with God. It's like you're the only two there, but when you have a relationship, it's like she is your like God or your goddess, or you are that God to her, essentially, because it's a team. So when you're by yourself, go to talk to your teammate. And then when you got the three party member system, actually three or four party member system, however long everybody's along, um, you have to consult the team. Constant team chats, constant cutscenes, where we just we put the game controller down, we put the games down, and we're like, where the fuck are we going here? Which is why I inherently like talking stages, because you know how you stay attractive? You don't talk about that shit until it's time to talk about that shit. And yeah, many times I'm not. I mean, I'm eloquent, but for a long time I didn't know what I wanted because I didn't see the healthy dynamic or how it was supposed to look. Nor did I really know what I wanted mine to look like. But now that I'm forming this relationship with God, Jesus, you know what I'm saying, the good old saints here, I feel like I'm understanding a little bit more. How the party system, the class dynamic is supposed to interact. I have a very adaptable persona, but I know which one I want to settle into. I know which one I want to settle. And I just have to be a leader and find someone willing to follow. It's not too hard. It's not too hard, especially with the ability to emotional connect. I say honestly, you don't need any other media. No movies, no books, no YouTube videos. Just find a kid, 3 years old, have them play this game. That's like your only media, and then you'll be able to emotionally connect with basically anyone, dating wise, because there's so many lessons here. See, the thing about this one, actually, let me get into the story spoilers here for a second. This is about the wonderful deceitful priest, right? Because the actual magistrate turns out to not be real magistrate, and then that's the whole thing that leads us into the temple to find the crystal, and then yeah. It's a crazy thing. But what we're gonna do after we talk to him, and then we settle the task with what's going on there. We're gonna talk to the dancers here, and this is going to be a little bit of a flashback from 2.0. We were just figuring out who Anne Lucina was, the hero, and it's gonna be very similar to the dancer in the castle who looked for the flower. So she's going to go there, find the wish flower, and wish she's, gonna wish something. We're not gonna say what the wish is. But she's gonna make her wish. She's come back, do her dance, and the dance wasn't working. And then the guy's like, yeah, you failed, but you could try again next time. And then basically we're gonna go to his palace, kick some ass. Let me start that there. So this is the next quest, because we're up here with King Ling Ling Lee. And essentially there, it's like the deceit of the church, because anything can really fool you. Anything can really fool you. But we are the next one in. 342 is the start of the second to last quest of 2.2. Like I said, with a dancer here, it's going to be with the wish flower, very reminiscent of the past. And much like that, like I said, this game and the quest and the story, it connects so much with so many different things, many different concepts, story-wise. The themes and morals, they go over a lot, and they connected with the Dragon Quest lore, obviously, it gets in there sometimes, so. I feel like you really, my gist of that, is that you don't need all this constant intake. The goal is to have this constant flow of in and out, a cycle of expanding and contracting. Like you get a bunch of ideas from playing a huge ass section of this game, or watching a bunch of YouTube videos or a bunch of TikToks and just relaxing, coming at it, because like I said, it surprises, and I hate it too. Sometimes to do what you need to do, you gotta detach from it. You gotta have that time with God. I don't tell you how much. I mean, honestly, I feel like the world is my studio, like I just go outside and touch grass to figure out what to write, or figure out what song I want to do, or get some lyrics in my head, get an idea or an inspiration for a topic to talk about, because that is where the inspiration is going to come from. Truly be creative. You have to make your creative momentum work for you. And you gotta build the muscle. So I'd say take a couple walks out. I'm not saying cut music out forever, but definitely do try that. See how that feels. I'm gonna take a walk around the neighborhood. Take a walk around the barn. Solo dolo, no headphones, 5 minutes. I definitely give it a time limit. But I would also say, if you already have a craft that you love, set yourself up with that momentum. When you're inspired, don't just go do it. That's not how it works. You set up your stuff, and then you set up that momentum for when you're actually ready to do it. Because honestly, most times when I'm inspired, I'm like in the shower, I'm like driving, I'm doing some weird. I'm at work, motherfucker be out walking and shit. I'm cooking. I get inspired at I don't just sit down at the desk and get inspired. It's time to, it's the weirdest time. So. And I don't really have a schedule or anything. I've just adapted the momentum to just work when I don't feel like it, work when I do feel like it. It's just like breathing air, it's just like training every day. It feels good. I know it sounds boring. I know everyone's gonna convince you that you're a fucking loser for going home and talking on the same mic and doing the same thing every day. But that's what life is. That's what life is. It's not supposed to be nonstop fun and hanging out with a bunch of people and doing random shit and constantly fucking random bitches and doing random drugs. 8 jobs at once. It's supposed to be boring. You're supposed to find something and lock in, really. So, and the thing is, you're really supposed to do whatever. Just existing and making it here is a huge achievement, I think. It's 2025. Motherfuckers are getting stabbed. And then swatted. The family's getting swatted because they got stabbed and the kid was racist. And then the person who stabbed them is getting money. Like we're giving money to people who stab people? That's what we're doing now. Okay. Okay. Yeah. He stabbed a bunch of people. Let's give him some money. And then on the other hand, I'm sorry, this is May 3rd today and 2025, so I'm a little tweaked. On the other hand, people are stabbed and you give him 5K. Motherfucker openly calls out a pedophile. These are the facts, guys. These are the facts. And gets even more money because she's a white woman. You know? And it's always about race, and I don't understand why it's always about race, because like it's like it's not really about that. It's about power. Like it's about the power dynamics behind it, and the people who want this shit to stop. Martin Luther, he didn't want, it's like it wasn't like a power thing. He was like, I want the same power for each race. That is not what the fuck he said, guys. But for some reason that I can't wrap my head around, but this is where the creativity comes in. If we just delve into topics like this and we really explore that, like I wonder why. Like why does it always have to be like, yes, there are systematically more white people in the country than black people. So, that's one power dynamic that goes on there. Sure. But in every respect, they have to act like we are like superior, like staturally, monetarily, societally, and everyone makes fun of us and all this shit, when in reality people are just people. You know what I'm saying? Like you get anybody with any of these attributes. It really at the same time, appearance does do a lot. But I feel like nowadays it's how you act, honestly, and the race does code it. Codes it, of course. But whenever used against an argument, and especially an argument like the craziness of stabbing someone, giving them a bunch of money, like race is the only thing you can stand on at that point. And you're just talking about a crazy power dynamic, and of course it's the same thing on the other side, But it's like that guy preying on this other horrible power dynamic that no one would approve of. And you can't get behind either of them without getting backlash from someone. It's just such a vitriol and hate spitting topic. So I'm not even really gonna get into that. But the creative thing to think about in this situation is like, who's really pulling the strings? Who's really puppeting this shit? It's a war starting, which is why I say we have to get creative to fight back against this. We can't fight this in normal means. You can't debate someone about this shit in normal means, because the echo chamber is speaking to all of us in direct different ways. We have to get creative on how we're moving around these circles. Because the algorithm don't lie. Algorithm don't lie. It'll feed you what you want to see in your eyes. In your eyes, in your butt, in your body. Say what? Oh my goodness. I still my audio on. So we're gonna complete this quest real quick. Just got one more cutscene up top with the magistrate. And then the next episode, oh man, we're gonna finish off with the last dungeon here. It's a pretty fun dungeon. And the last cutscene is amazing. So I really want to finish that so I can make this next music video. So I might record that just now, but we'll see. I have to grind my creative skill, and like I said, guys, you just gotta be patient. When you're trying to be creative, you just gotta be patient. Because sometimes it's not gonna come. Sometimes, patient with everything. If you're really trying to unfuck your brain from gooning every day, which I am for sure. But at the same time, it helps me. I'm not gonna lie and say it doesn't. It helps. So I have to think of creative ways to slowly wean myself off, just like I've gotten a creative way to slowly wean myself on to things like exercise and eating healthy. Because I like, woo, healthy foods are disgusting. They are. They are. It's a taste. The taste of healthy disturbs me. Disturbs me. I need the taste of grease, filth, disgusting, cheese, lots of cheese, chicken, sauce. None of that is healthy. But I've figured it out. I've gave myself to slowly wean myself into healthier habits. Slowly but surely. We can get into that later, but it's not like important. The thing is, you have to think creatively about your solutions to problems. You can expand it and contract it, right? So when I was expanding this, like how to undo, you expand it and you like, let's just go in, let's think of everything, let's download all of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm into it. I'm going, I'm gorilla ham mode. I'm ham fisting 8 times a day, 16 times a day. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you need to do. And then you contract. And then you're like, okay, so I know this isn't good for me now. For sure. Now I'm accurate. Now I'm accurately assess the situation. We know we can't do that. And then I'm like, well, I know I can't stop because it helps me. I'm aiding myself through life. It's helped me through life this far. You know what I'm saying? Like most the third of most people's life doing this shit. And a lot of people accept it. So I'm like, let me just stave myself off to 2 sections a day. And adapt some different, thoughts around it, so you have to stay aware because I feel like a lot of times when you're doing it, you're not obviously there in real life. So just stay aware in your mind. Take a look to your left, take a look to your right. Realize that you are laying in bed, looking at a TV screen. Like your hand is real. You know what I'm saying? Just to stay aware, stay in real life while you're doing it. And I promise you, it's gonna be a lot less fun, and you're probably gonna want to stop in the middle. It usually happens to me. But on top of that, the more contingency plans, I just set it for 2 times in the day where I'm really dead set. Like you have to. That's like a scheduled tick time in. You know what I'm saying? I give myself 2 times a day because that's like more than enough. And at the end of the day, guys, it's not for us. You know what I'm saying? It's not good for us. You know it. I know it. So staving it off to 2 times a day, save your sexual energy. It's used for other purposes. Let's get real here. Sex is for women. We'll get to that another episode. But we're done. Subscribe. Leave a like. I love you. See you next time. Get creative, bitch.